All right. Knife for hooks, screwdriver, blaster, camera's going. Wait, camera. Oh, hi everyone. I'm back. What's up, YouTube? Xavier here, and I'm back. Yeah, baby, I'm back with reviews. I'm demonetized and all this good stuff. Yeah, we'll get to that portion in a little bit, but I am here to review this, the Rivals Kronos blaster, which I have been very much looking forward to, and Clownie was nice enough to send me. So let's unbox this and see what we actually get out of it. And got my trusty knife here. And it's pretty straightforward. We have the blaster itself, which is much like Nerf likes to do now. It's just painted on the one side. 4 rival rounds in a baggie, along with the one to show you what a rival round is, because, you know, if you've never had one before, it's not going that way. If you've never had one before, you want to know what the squishy golf ball feels like. And because this is part of the Phantom Core, which is, I guess, the Nerf rival of a mercenary, or gun for hire, or sellsword, or whatever you want to call it. The blasters are white, as opposed to the normal, you know, sucky reds or awesome blues. But you do get these, which are little flags that you can put on the strap to indicate what team you're playing for. Yeah, no. So, yeah. Alright, we'll go over the aesthetics first. I kind of still remember how to do these things. We'll go over the aesthetics, how the blaster fires. We'll look at the insides, and then I'll give you my final thoughts as always. So, aesthetically, I really, really like the design of this blaster. When they first announced the Deadpool GameStop exclusive ones, I was very excited about this thing because the shape was awesome. The design on the Deadpool ones are really, really cool. But, however, I do not have $50 to drop on 2 blasters. So, the overall profile is really neat. It kind of reminds me of a shorter version of RoboCop's Auto 9, much more than the Magnus ever actually did. It's really neat. It's got the Phantom logo here, along with Rival in here on black. The other side, there is zero paint, which is Nerf's norm apparently now. But you do have the Rival marker here, or engraving. And you also have the blaster type, which is the 28-500. So 500 meaning it has 5 shots. If you ever wonder what those numbers are on all the Rival blasters, like not the Roman numerals, but the actual numbers, it usually just means their starting capacity. Like the Apollo is the 28-700 because it comes with a 7-round magazine. However, you can use the 12 rounds in it, but I guess they didn't want to put 700 to 1200. But way you use this is this little orange door flips up, and you're greeted by just a bunch of orange plastic, which doesn't seem very important, but you pull the slide back, and this is where you load it in. This is an inline magazine, very similar to the Magnus and the Star Wars blasters, the Han Solo DL-44 and the Ray blaster, because those all have internal magazines as well. And you just push them in. Now, there is really no give. I have all 5 loaded in here, and yeah, that's it. Once the 5th is in there, that's it. You're there. There are mods to extend the magazine. I know Captain Xavier made a shotgun version of this, which is really, really neat. Go check that out if you're interested. But we're just going to go over the internals and see what we're working with before we actually do modifications to it. I do also know it will take a K26 as well. Thank you again, Captain Xavier. It also has the what I'm going to just refer to as the Rival Picatinny, because I know it's not exactly Picatinny, but it's not a Nerf rail, so it's what it is. So you have some here on the slide, some here on front, and a small little iron sight on the back here. Firing, again, slide, load. When you push it forward, you have a round loaded, and there is also a priming indicator on the back, which is really cool. So I have my little target set up there, and we're just going to fire. Crud. There we go. Yeah, 4 out of 5 went in there. 1 bounced out, but that's besides the point. The scheme, I really like. The design of it, I really like, but we'll go on to that. And it does have your safety switch, like all rivals do. Push it down for safe, and the trigger can't go. You cannot pull the trigger. Push it up, and the trigger is free. The safety on the rival was a good concept in my opinion, but I never liked the way it was implemented, because you activate the safety and you can't pull the trigger, which is totally fine. However, you can still prime the stupid thing. And to me, it would be a bit more beneficial, because let's say you have an Apollo you just shoved in a box somewhere. You put the safety on thinking, okay, this way the trigger isn't going to be getting depressed or whatever. But if it catches that, then it's primed, and now it's sitting there primed. And dry firing a rival is never really good. Personally, I think the safety should have been, when it's implemented, it doesn't allow, it like does something to the catch, or it disables the catch. So if you prime it back, it doesn't do anything. Like, it just either goes right back forward, or it won't stay, and it just, but again, that's just me. But that's everything for the overall of this. Let's go to the workbench and see what we got inside this bad boy. Okay, I just figured this out putting it back together, but I'm most probably going to cut this part and put it before I actually show you the open part of the blaster. This piece back here actually holds the back end of your blaster in place. In order to get at the actual internals, what you would have to do is, once everything is unscrewed, you have to actually move this piece out of place in order to put it back together, either taking it apart or putting this piece back on. So just remember, this piece kind of slides out a little bit. In order, if you're having trouble getting your blaster open, this in the back end of it is, if you have all your screws out, this is what's hanging you up. Okay, so for sake of time, I've already unscrewed everything as I usually do. I do want to make a couple of notes. From what I can tell, I did leave some screws in here because they just weren't coming out with the screwdrivers. But there are 3 different size screws. From what I can tell, most of them are all this same sized black screw. There are 2 other types. There are these really super long ones, and those 2 are right here in the handle. And then there's this tiny little black one that actually holds the slide on, and you do have to take the slide off because there is a hidden screw underneath there. There's also one on the other side for that slide, for that piece of the slide as well. So you can actually unscrew the slides, which is actually very good for any paint jobs you're going to do, because you can now do, you don't have to worry about popping the slide off with like some like plastic pins or anything like that, or snaps holding it together. You can just unscrew it and it's good to go. So let's see the inside of it, and this is the Kronos. Good. Another plus, the handle is separate plastic, so you can take the handle off if you want to keep the black handle and just paint the white. You can more than do that. We have everything just very similar to the way a Rivals blaster is very self-contained. You have the catch, which is actually really interesting. I don't know if I'm going to take this too much apart because it's a lot of little pieces. I'd rather, if I'm going to really kind of gut this, I'd rather do that in a full out mod guide rather than this. But here we can see what looks like the trigger lock. So when this goes back, this is to press down so you can't pull the trigger and dry fire. So that will probably come out with a mod guide. You have this piece here, which looks like it's a slide lock. And again, we'd probably go over this a little bit more in depth with a actual mod tutorial. You have the jam door up here, a little piece that holds that in, and then you have the actual plunger and magazine assembly. This is why you really can't fit more than 5 rival balls in here, because this is actually very tiny. I'm sure there is a way to extend it, either by probably chopping it off here and putting an extended mag out here. But at that point, you might as well put a faux barrel on here and just make it a shotgun. Which, again, if you want to see that being done, go check out Captain Xavier. Very talented modder. He did wonders with his Kronos. I'm a said amateur comparatively. But these are the internals of the Kronos. Again, like all rivals, very self-contained. The catch looks super beefy. You have your priming indicator and looks like what looks like to be a safety depression button here as well, which I never understood those. I could never get those things to work for me. And your two main safeties right here, which is slide lock and trigger lock. But I'm leaving everything as is for now. Probably this might not even necessarily be just the trigger lock. I think that's also the safety as well. Yep, it's the safety as well. If you push this down, and I'm probably going to lose my screws from here, but here you can see the safety mechanism here, which this sits here so that when the safety goes down, this just goes down automatically. So there's that. And yep, there went a screw. So I got to go find that screw. I'm going to close this up, and I'm going to give you guys my final thoughts. All right, so what do I think of the Nerf rival Kronos? I really like this thing. I basically fell. I'm not going to lie. I fell in love with the design of this thing as soon as I saw those Deadpool blasters. I like the profile. I like the fact that this is actually a white blaster. Pretty much makes this a modder's blank canvas. You could put any color you want on it, and all you have to do is really worry about is sending off the Spartan and the rival logo, and really that's it. The Nerf rival here and the model are indented, so you have to either do a lot of grinding on that, which is probably going to look like crap, or you could fill that in with like epoxy or something like that and then just smooth it flat. But honestly, when I do mod this up, I think I'm going to incorporate that, because I want to learn how to do more detailing a little better, and that's going to probably be a good starting point for me, at least. But the grip is very comfortable. The profile is very nice. It has 5 shots, which is 2 more than the Magnus, and I really always like that one. And it's on the same price point. I think the Magnus still goes for $20, and you're getting 3 mega darts into that inline clip, whereas this is $20. It's a smaller pistol, I believe so, or if not, it's probably about the same size. But the slide is smaller. The everything is, in my opinion, a little bit more sleeker, and you get 5 shots out of it instead of 2. So there's that. Over and all, if you're on the fence about getting something Rivals related, this honestly would be a good starting point. Yes, you can get the Apollo for about the same amount of money and 2 extra shots, because it comes with the 7 dart clips, or I'm sorry, the 7 ball magazines. But I think this would honestly be a much better starter point, because the Apollo has issues. Not so much performance issues, but just the cosmetic and ergonomic issues that it has. It has that weird top prime. It's a much bigger back end on it, where this is literally everything. Everything that the Apollo does is right here, just sans 2 shots. So if you love Rivals, definitely get this. If you're on the fence of Rivals, pick this up, play around with it. If you like it, go hog wild. But that's it for the review. So let me know what you think of the Kronos down below. Do you have one? Do you have the Deadpool one? Do you like the fact that the Phantom Core is just a all-white blaster series and you can just design it or rival however you want with it? Leave me a comment down below. And to touch on the subject that I had mentioned earlier, yes, I am no longer a YouTube partner. No, it's not anything I did. More likely than not, this is YouTube's overreaction, but a lot of the small channels are now getting completely demonetized. I am. I know Clownie is. I know a couple of others are. Clownie can actually bounce back from it because the new minimum is 1,000 subs and 4,000 watch hours. Clownie has broken at least one of those thresholds. If you guys can go watch him, keep him in the partner program, that would be awesome. I, on the other hand, need a lot more help, but as I always said, I never did this for the money. I did this for the love of my hobby. And that's all I'm going to say on that. So, thank you everyone for watching this video. Thank you very much for all the support. I have a bunch of blasters I am now ready to do. It's a good weekend out here in Jersey. It's going to be slightly warmer. It's still a little cold in the workshop, but it's warm enough to where I can get out and get back to doing what I enjoy. So, again, thank you everyone for watching. And as always, if you like my videos, throw me a like and subscribe. Leave me a comment down below. Click the little bell to get notifications of when I do my silliness. And I will see you guys next time. Later.